Prime time is getting set for playoff time. A healthy Dion has never faced the Vikings' Randy Moss and Cris Carter, but today he says he's 100%. And that's the way we feel as we welcome you back to this Fox NFL special. Hey, listen to that.
What is that? JB backing up?
Oh, you know, and I thought Big Boy really like,
you are, don't take
my
that.
God. And, hey, folks, that's
Lord,
not a truck
don't
backing up here in the studio, as Big Boy would have you believe. That's the Miami Dolphins and Seattle Seahawks backing into the playoffs.
Baby.
Both have lost 5 of the last 6 games, but overshadowed by all of this is the playoff game that could be Dan Marino's and Jimmy Johnson's last in the NFL. Jeannie Zelasco has the tattle on the battle in Seattle. Hello, Jeannie.
Tough crowd, JB.
Jeannie,
Good
wow.
morning. We did learn something this week, though. Sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. The Seahawks and, of course, the Dolphins were lucky enough to play very well down the stretch. They went 1-5, but, of course, they were lucky enough to get into the postseason. That's why many are referring to this as the back-in bowl. But don't tell that to Mike Holmgren.
No. The people that call it that don't know anything about football.
I think that the people who aren't in are the ones who are looking at it as a backdoor bowl.
You know, regardless of what's happened in the past 5-6 weeks up there or the past 5-6 weeks down here, you know, this is a new ball game.
It's not like the NCAA tournament. We received an at-large bid, and, you know, we aced somebody else out by getting that at-large bid. We had the same opportunity as everybody else in our division.
It wasn't supposed to be this way. Midway through the season, both teams looked destined to be part of the postseason landscape. Maybe that was the problem in South Beach, where they lost their sense of urgency.
Just wasn't there, and we've been playing bad. And once something went wrong, people started pointing fingers at the coaches, pointing fingers at other players, doing things, and it really contaminated a lot of different players. And I feel like, you know, now it feels good this week.
And the feeling's mutual in the Pacific Northwest, considering inexperience almost derailed their postseason plans.
We have a young team. A lot of these guys haven't been in the playoffs. We have a lot of young players who play. And I think they kind of viewed 8-2 as a destination. That's just a stop along a long journey. And we kind of lost our thread for quite a while there. But we're in it now. And I think based upon this week's of practice, we've got it back.
And we'll see if the young team can keep it despite the pressure surrounding the big game and, of course, the soap opera on the other sideline surrounding the future of Jimmy Johnson and Dan Marino. As far as injuries, well, if Ricky Watters is as healthy as he says he is, then the ground game for Seattle should look good, although Mike Holmgren will be watching him a lot more closely this week. For Miami, Troy Drayton is an absolute no-go. O.J. McDuffie says he will test his toe on the turf, but he does plan on playing. So does J.J. Johnson, but he is worried if the hamstring will be able to hold up. So, JB, you have to wonder if Dan Marino is going to be weaponless in Seattle.
We'll have some thoughts about that, and thank you very much, Jeannie. We are now joined by the man they call Key, Keyshawn Johnson.
I guess. I got a hell of a reputation, don't I?
I'm coming. I'm coming. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I'm coming. I'm coming. Can't hold me back. When I was born, there was a rainbow form with no...
Key looking smooth on the field and looking awfully. Hey, you went into Terry's closet for that then, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry. Terry's
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, what are you looking at me for?
Hey, didn't have the overall look, right? We understand that. All right. You have played both squads, Miami and Seattle. Talk about what you expect in this game and who has the edge.
I think Seattle. You know, I think one of the reasons is because they need to run a lot of crossing routes. If they run a lot of crossing routes, they can beat this team. You know, I think the fact that all this pressure's on Jimmy Johnson and Dan Marino, it will not come through.
Why the crossing routes? Why? You say crossing, but why?
Because you can run away from man-to-man defense that way. Trying to go vertical, you'll play right into Sam Madison's hands, Terrell Buckley, and Patrick Surtain.
Go ahead, Cris.
You know, like Johnny Bench knows pitchers. I know wide receivers know quarterbacks. Dan Marino, is he finished? Does he still have it? What do you think?
The 2 games I've seen him play, he didn't look that sharp. I mean, at times he looked like Dan Marino, the Hall of Fame quarterback, but then at times he looked like a guy that should just go ahead and pass the torch.
As Jeannie mentioned, though, you know, Dan has been weaponless up there. If he had played in the St. Louis offense this year, he might have scored 30 touchdowns. And another indication that maybe Jimmy Johnson might not be back next year, Wayne Huizenga has gone to Dan Marino and asked him his thoughts on Dave Wannstedt possibly being the next head coach there.
How about that?
That's pretty serious indeed.
Much turmoil.
What about your catch?
Turmoil. You got a little turmoil.
And we will get to Keyshawn and the turmoil in
Do the dance. Show
just
me your
a bit.
dance, man.
Keyshawn will stick around. But in the meantime, Terry talks with Jeff George, who's pulled off a Linda Blair in that he's exercised his demons. And you know what? He's actually turned quite a few heads in Minnesota.
I think the main thing for me was just wanting to get into a situation where I had a great chance to have success. And I think any quarterback coming into this offense, I like to call it the vertical game. I think it best suits my style.
Today's field generals Troy Aikman and Jeff George. Aikman is 11-3 as a playoff starter, while George is starting only his second postseason game. TB faces off with Jeff right after this. It's called him Double C, but you can add another C for consistency. Cris Carter just finished his 7th straight 1,000-yard season. And welcome back to this Fox NFL special and the Invesco pregame show. And we're back here with Keyshawn as promised. And in today's game, one of the receivers will be highlighted quite a bit, Cris Carter, who has had a sensational season. And you've commented a lot about the way he catches the ball.
Yeah, Cris Carter's made a lot of one-handed catches this year, and it's something new that I've seen in the league. Actually, Keyshawn is tremendous at this as well. I saw him in the game against Miami.
Something up to him.
You shut up. You just stayed out. We're going to be dealing with the football here. We're going to be dealing with the football in this segment. Why don't you sit your big butt down over there? This is too complicated for you. All right, so now here's what happens now. Cris Carter now is going to catch the football. When the thing's coming over the top like this, if he reaches out both hands, Keyshawn, reach out both hands. If you reach out, both hands are coming down, you're going to get racked, and then you're just going to drop the ball. I drop a lot of balls that way, I know. So now what Keyshawn and Cris Carter and Randy Moss and all the guys are doing, TB, throw one in there. So now it's coming down. I see his eyes get big as a defensive back, so I know it's coming. So now I'm doing this. So now he's just using that hand, right?
Fingertip control.
Be able to use this hand, be able to push here, use that leverage, boom, there you go, now you have separation. So the thing that they like to do is just, when you're running down the field, is mess with you a little bit.
They just do this all day.
So now you grab him, and the referee doesn't see this, and you just push him, boom.
Now, let me ask you this.
So you're cheating.
According to him, okay, now I've heard this countless times. The gloves you guys wear now, a 5th grader could catch the ball, he said. He said if they had gloves back when he played for the Bengals...
Would you stop helping me?
He said the ball would just
go... It's not the Bengals, it's the Bengals.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think about that?
Those gloves help a little bit, but...
Okay, Deion and Moss. Talk about Deion and Moss.
You know, I think the thing that everybody's making, it's always a hype game. Deion versus Keyshawn, Deion versus Moss, Deion versus Cris. But the thing that we all got to realize is Cris Carter is the guy on the team, not Randy Moss. Cris Carter can kill you. Randy Moss can only kill you one way right now, and that's deep because Cris Carter works the middle of the field, the best in the NFL at doing that. So anytime you have that, that's something that Deion Sanders doesn't want to do, hasn't done, is go in the middle of the field. So therefore, you have a matchup there with Cris Carter. I think you double the other guy at the corner with Kevin Smith and roll the safety over the top.
Last time they didn't do that, they laid off, they threw hitches.
Hey, and speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, Terry Bradshaw actually went up to Minnesota to talk with Jeff. That's right, actually went up to Minnesota to talk with Jeff George. And the question is, you two
my 11th trip of the year.
Oh, please.
Who's count?
Hey, pull out the tissue.
Me too.
The question is, are you now a believer of Jeff George?
Yeah.
I actually went up to Minnesota. So much has been said by me and a lot of people, the critics, about the past of Jeff George, and has he truly changed? I go to Minneapolis to find out if, in fact, he has. Did I get the answers? I don't think so.
You want to make a little bit of difference with your quarterback? There's a big difference right there.
Right now, we'll go with Jeff George as our starting quarterback.
I'd hoped that, if I was given the chance, good things were going to happen. To be 10-6, the way we started out at 2-4, and having a home field playoff game at home, that says a lot for our character of this team and on the guts of these players.
How do you continuously keep throwing the ball, to 2 receivers? People know you're going to throw downfield to Carter and to Moss, and you know it. You ever how does it happen?
I think it's my job to place the ball where I want it, and only they know where I'm going to put it.
I'm going to stick him inside and go up top. Yeah. Throw it all the way to the end zone.
I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high.
With the size and as physical as they are, as long as I place the ball up high where the defenders can't get it, it gives them the best chance to make a play, and I think that's what we've been doing the last few weeks.
I've been someone that's been on your case pretty good, but I've watched you, followed you closely, and I look at going to my home team, the Colts,
then traded to Atlanta, who gave up a first and a third. Then really, you know, suspended, moved on to the Raiders, basically released. You know, how can you be this good and this talented and bounce around like this?
I don't want to sit here and make excuses because I was a part of those teams. I was the quarterback, and we lost. And I think the main thing for me is to let that go. For whatever reason, things happen. Whether it's now that I'm older, I think maybe you mature. You understand that I made mistakes, but there's nothing I can do about it.
You know, you are a human being, and I mean, you do have feelings, and it must hurt you to have people that make comments about you that are derogatory or mean-spirited or ill-willed or whatever.
The good thing is I don't on Sundays I don't get to watch your show. So I understand that criticism comes with the territory. I understand you have to win at this level. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to do that.
You came here, if this quote's right, and you said, I would have come here for nothing. In other words, you would have played for free, and you told Denny Green that you wanted to finish your career here as a Viking. You still feel that way
Absolutely.
Today?
Every quarterback wants to win, and I think this scenario here gives me the best chance to win. And for once in my career, in my 10 years, I've really figured out how to have fun and play quarterback at the same time.
I don't know. It's that's a tough call for me. I know one thing. If he truly had, if Jeff George truly has become the team man that everyone says he wasn't, if he truly said that I'll play for nothing, if he truly said I want to finish my career in Minneapolis for Denny Green, if that's truly this new man, then I expect him to be there, for them to continue to play well, and for me to get off his case, which I plan on doing. I wish him to be. He has played very well. He's got to do it next year and the next year. You know what? Let's see. We'll find out when the money deal comes up.
What does Denny Green do to these guys up there, though? I mean, everybody was supposed to go in with an attitude up there in Minnesota. Randall Cunningham's supposed to have one, Jeff George, Randy Moss, even Cris Carter when he first got there. And all of a sudden, if he's a Zen master or what, they're all calm, they're all very peaceful, they're all very happy. Denny Green deserves some credit.
Keyshawn, there was a time a little way back when you and my boy here had a little tiff. You guys were locked up in a room, kind of like Jeff George and Terry. I mean, did you guys work that out?
I think so, but the thing is, when you look at guys like Jeff George, and even, you could say myself.
He
the
totally
fact
ignored
that,
Getting back to Cris.
the fact that, he's had problems in other places. He's had problems in college. Yeah, he's transferred to 2 or 3 different schools, and he's been on several different teams in the NFL. But anytime you find that right mix of coach, owner, players that welcome you and want you to play well for him with the respect that he's gotten in Minnesota, you're going to play well.
Everybody says, coach of the Jets.
I'm not worried about that right now. He says, everybody says, well, we'll see what happens in the future. No. We'll see what happens in the future right now. The future's right today.
And speaking of the future, we will come back to that Howie Long question in the very near future and talk with you about that. But you know what? Let me also support what Chris Collinsworth was saying. So many other coaches get that Father Flanagan figure, and there's no question that Denny Green has done the job very quietly there with a number of guys very effectively indeed. All right, folks, the countdown to kickoff is indeed underway. But first, if there's a countdown, there must be a rocket. The Cowboys rocket Ismail coming up. Pre-game show, we're back here with Keyshawn Johnson on Final Thoughts. I'm hearing that a number of players on the Jets have called Bill Parcells asking him to come back. But what did Parcells say to you guys before he left? And what conditions would you have him back?
Well, I think the thing that he wanted to let us all know was that he didn't feel comfortable coaching the team under those conditions. He just didn't feel like he was giving us everything. He would
under what conditions?
Well, I think the fact that maybe that he didn't give us 100%, or he wouldn't give us 100% in the year 2000, so he wanted to step down and let Belichick take over, but that didn't happen. So I think now that he's probably rethinking about coming back to be the head coach, then now, because he made that statement, he can be re-energized again because of what happened with Belichick.
Were you surprised what Belichick did?
No, I was just as shocked as anybody.
Is that right?
I could not, I had no, I think I was on a plane or something coming back home.
Keyshawn, now the rumor is that relationship between Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells fell apart this preseason. Is that part of what happened with that? Would you stop it?
You're doing me a hard ball.
Get on the ropes, man. Start popping.
Well, you know, from all indications of what I've seen, and I like Belichick to death, but from all indications of what I've seen, I think they had a coach relationship, you know, in a working environment, a business relationship. In any environment, that's the same with you guys. You guys probably don't hang out afterwards. You have a business relationship.
No, we don't.
Those are sort of things that they probably went through.
Belichick or Parcells better coach for you guys?
Well, I mean, Parcells. Why would I answer that?
Keyshawn, if Bill comes back and it's a money issue and he all of a sudden is making $7-8 million because of the new ownership and he does come back, do you in fact think, and it's a one-year deal, does that work for the Jets? Or would you rather have another guy that's got a 3 to 5 or 5 year deal?
I think at this point in time, we probably definitely need somebody within. We probably don't want to go outside and bring somebody, because I don't think it'll be a lot of happy campers around there if you brought somebody from the outside.
And you'd be one of those?
I mean, I can't say it right now. I'm going to
to
wait for the new owner to come, and just like you would wait for a new owner, a new CEO to take over the company to think about your future, that's the same way Keyshawn Johnson is going to approach
Keyshawn,
it.
you know what? You're very candid. We appreciate your thoughts on that, indeed. And in terms of whether or not this group gets along, in fact, there is a lot of love. Hey, thank you very much, Keyshawn.
He won't ride in my truck.
All right, folks.
Won't ride in my truck.
I still love you very much. Hey, folks, the game is coming up right after this.